Hello. Hello. These are on, right?
Hi, Elise.
Hi. I'm Leanne.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now I see 5 o'clock everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay. All right, I think the mics are on.
Let's call this meeting to order of the Park Board of the Village of Oregon. Item 2, the roll call. Peggy, may we have the
Oh,
roll?
and Judy Knutsen's first on my list. Mark Miller,
Present.
all right. McDaniel,
Here.
Jameson is absent. Case,
Here.
Herman,
Present.
and Frisch.
Here.
All right.
Thank you, Peggy. Item 3, approval of September 12th meeting minutes. So those were in the packet as well. Do we have any comments about it? Did anybody find the typo? You didn't find the typo? I found the typo, surprising. There's a went versus it's a when, so at the very end. That was when Jeff Rao will come when he's available versus
Yep.
went in available. Just because I caught one
That
doesn't mean I
is-
read them all.
Is that item, is it 6C or 7C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So
You
with
get
that,
the gold star, Mark.
I will make that update.
with that correction, do we have approval of minutes?
Yeah, I'll moved.
Thank you, Andy. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 So moved. We have the opportunity for a public appearance. I do not see anybody in the audience, but in the event that anybody would like to, they certainly may. But seeing nobody, I'll pass on with the clarifications. That was item 4. Number 5, reports from the village staff. 5A, Director of Public Works report.
So I'm not going to pretend to be the public works director again today, but Jeff was just on a phone call, so he'll be up here. So let's skip that and come back
Skip
to
that
him.
too.
But I can roll right into 5B.
That would be awesome.
So not too much of an update here. Just wanted to let you all know we did have a joint meeting with the Planning Commission and the Village Board last Thursday for both the kind of final drafts of the park plan and the comp plan. So that went well. A couple of comments there, and then just wanted to remind you, make you aware again that we have a open house 2 weeks from today. Right? Yep. Tuesday, October 24th. It'll be next door in the community room, 6 to 8. And it's gonna be more of a drop-in type event, so it's kind of the public's opportunity to see what we've come up with and if we've kind of make sure we've heard them correctly. And Sonia, our consultant from Vanderwall, will do a short presentation, probably around 6:15, just to kind of give an overview of the process. Why are we doing the plans? What have been some of the major changes? What's the feedback that we received? What were some of the opportunities to have that earlier in the year, and then kind of what the point of this event will be. And then sounds like there'll be a couple of maps around the room for people to see on easels and review that. And then there's a kind of a feedback comment sheet that you can fill out on your own and then either turn in at the end of the event before you leave, or you can drop back off or email to me afterwards if you need a little bit of time with it. But basically just kind of prioritizing what are some of the top things that we heard. And it's just another touch point with the public to make sure, again, that we are capturing everything before we get to the final version of the plans. So you all are welcome to attend if you like. We'll have it noticed for a potential quorum for the Planning Commission and Board too. So if anybody would like to come, and Lynn, I know you already offered to help, so we'll chat with you later. There might be some opportunities just to kind of, for all of you too, since you've seen the plan a few times, it'll be kind of a little bit of like a mingling around as people are looking at these maps and probably answering some questions or helping orient them to where is, JC Park on the map. And like some people aren't just used to seeing these documents. So if you'd like to attend or help in any way, let me know. But otherwise, just wanted to make you aware. And we're still on track to adopt these documents probably in December. So not sure if we'll have anything back at the park board. Probably just as an FYI, maybe the final version in November or December, but it'll be a planning commission and then board adoption of the plan. So I imagine we'll probably bring it back to you guys one more time for kind of your official recommendation to the board. So stay tuned for that. And Jeff, we skipped you.
You skipped me. Sorry about that. I was
We
on a
didn't
phone
skip
call.
you,
Huh?
We didn't skip you.
I know. Just bypassed and everything.
repositioned you on the agenda.
That is excellent. So, talk about a couple of things. The concession stand at J.C. Park has come along really well. They got the roof on, they got shingles on, and it's going to be a nice space. It's going to be a really nice space. Leanne has been working very hard on kind of how we're going to outfit it and then how we're going to run it, because there'll be multiple groups wanting to use it. So we'll probably be utilizing some rolling lockable cages so that, right, maybe?
Yes, for inventory.
For, yes, no, for
Yeah,
for keeping
For
children.
small children.
We're actually using it as a daycare as well. No, for just inventory and that, so if a group wants to, if there are multiple groups using it during a season, that they can lock up the candy bars and other stuff and, whatever they need to, and then, have it, pull it out for when they're having their event and everything. But that is exciting. This Saturday, we are having another tree planting event, rain or shine. Actually, it's just gonna be rain or rain. And I talked to Jake earlier, we have 21 trees that are going into Keller Alpine Park. And, nice sized trees, and then we have another, 10 or 11, there's 31 trees total, so maybe it's 20 and then 11 out at Highlands of Netherwood Park. So we're gonna plant some more trees out there, and, the crews will be digging the holes tomorrow while we have some decent weather, and then the trees will be delivered and placed at the holes Thursday and Friday. We'll get the rain, and then they should go in really, really quickly and easily on Saturday. So Saturday, I think it's 9 o'clock, starting at Keller Alpine Park parking lot there off of Netherwood. So it's been fun. If you haven't had a chance, it's actually a fun little work day. It's kind of fun to see with everything. Yeah, so phase 2 is moving forward with J.C. Park. The village board has put that into the capital plan, and that's moving forward. We did make the decision, and I appreciate, I missed the last one, but I really appreciate you guys looking at the recommendation to take the lighting out and put it into phase 3, and the village board was supportive of that. So we'll be doing phase 2. Got some pretty exciting things looking at for the playground equipment and maybe a grant that we might be able to utilize either for that or for Gary Dish Park. So we're looking into those options. But we'll see construction of phase 2 next spring and summer, and it'll take a year or so for that field to come in. But other than that, I mean, things are moving along. The Fall Fury used the field out there. Sound like things went really, really well. And the youth baseball have been having, I think, Sunday afternoon clinics or minor mini tournament type of thing out there on the ball fields. Really positive feedback on everything so far. So that's about it. Any questions on parks or?
Park board, any other questions, comments? Very good.
Great.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. And that would, wasn't anything further on the core plan, but so it would be 5C, Recreational Programming Coordination Report. Item 1, proposed park shelter fees for the 2024.
All right, so looking ahead to 2024, I just put together a little revisement of the fee structure for park rentals. I put the 2023 right next to the proposed 2024 fee. As you can see, the majority are pretty much the same. I feel like it was a pretty nice price point. It was accessible to most, and we were able to recoup some costs. There were a couple of increases. J.C. Park, for example, the pavilion there was just a slight increase because now that the construction is sort of away from that area, before they got a little bit of a price break because they had to put up with, you know, a work zone basically. But now that that is away from there, the pavilion's been a bit fixed up. The amenities are closer to Highlands of Netherwood and Kaiser's, so I just increased their price $5 to be on point with those two. Bethel Greenacre has since added, it's a portable restroom, but it is indeed a restroom. So with that extra amenity, that was just raised $5 as well. The pickleball courts, oh my goodness, these are so popular. I swear I get calls for the pickleball courts constantly. So there is just a $5 increase for residents. So it's now $10 per court per 2 hours, which is still a pretty good price point. But
That's to reserve
to
only.
yes.
Right, but
Um,
anyone can play anytime.
Oh yes,
Yep.
absolutely. So yes, so just with all that wear and tear and the use they're getting, which is great, we just want to be sure that we can maintain that. And then the additional setup fee, it was always just a flat $20 fee, and I'm proposing now it being a flat $25 fee. So that's the barricades, extra garbage cans, extra picnic tables.
Did you see a lot of that?
Not really, and if we did, it was for like pretty major events where, like, I think the red, white, and blue celebration, I think they took every picnic table we had
Art
in
fair.
the village. Yep, art fair. But that was about it. But normal, just like birthday parties at a shelter, we rarely see extra picnic tables or extra garbage cans.
Leanne, was there anything you wanted to mention on the first page of your memo? Just a summary. I know Andy kind of asked for that too. Obviously, it's in the memo, but if there's anything you wanted to add.
Yes. So Andy had asked for kind of a recap of 2023. So at the writing of this memo, which was about a week ago, so the 4th, we have brought in $3,487.50. I have no clue where that 50 cents came from in park fees. Reservations are still pretty steady for October and November, which is very surprising. Kaiser, JC, and Highlands and Netherwood were our most popular shelters being rented out. And so sports organizations, they submitted their space needs for the year. They were assigned a lump sum, and the lump sum we received from all the youth sports and the adult sports, $34.50. So they're about half and half. And then, yeah, I think that's all I have for
So the total's about 7,000.
correct.
Then.
And I'd say there's gonna be another 500 in there somewhere in there, just with again, I booked 3 events in October today, and the pickleball courts are, yeah, I get messages all the time about the pickleball court.
Is it mostly residents or non-residents?
It's mostly residents. I think the community room seems to be attracting the non-residents more. I think we've had maybe 2 non-resident events, but they were, a celebration of life or something that tied them back to the community.
So this is our money now? The park board money?
It just goes into a big pot.
Oh.
No. No, this goes towards, part of the budget. And the reason to have the conversation today, like I mentioned, is we're doing the budget. And part of that, we update the fee schedule every year too. So if there's any other fees, whether it's building permit or anything else, we want to kind of wrap that all up towards the end of the year here, so that start of the year we have kind of a new list to go off of, and also we can publish this information and let groups know if they want to make a change. So obviously there's not a big increase in fees, and but this was a big increase, I think, from what we were charging before, which was basically
0.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I think you haven't really gotten any feedback from folks that like kind of balking at any prices or saying
No,
this
not
is
at all.
unaffordable. I think we're definitely still in the low end of things, but it's sort of a gradual change for us, and certainly don't want to make things inaccessible, but also want to recoup some of the costs for administration, for maintenance, for cleaning, and we've talked about this with like other community events that Leanne's done, like Sounds of Summers, that hopefully as they grow in popularity too, there's some sponsorship and other things available. But those budgets will kind of grow over time to be able to, again, continue to add more capacity. Our population is growing, and people are kind of, we're reaching the point of we're growing up as a village, so people are expecting certain things of our facilities and our programming, and we want to make sure that we're kind of staying in touch with those expectations too. But would love any feedback on the fees or any questions for Leanne about last year.
I just have a quick question about how someone pays this fee. Right now, they send it directly to you.
Correct.
When we get the website up and running, the new website,
Mhm.
will they be able to pay on the website?
They will,
That will
and
be
with a
nice.
credit card too.
Yay.
I know, it's very exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
I also think that it might be worth, I don't know, this is just my opinion, adding a potential like donation section there when we are doing it on the website,
Oh,
because I agree,
okay.
these prices are really reasonable. And if
Mhm.
I was planning, you know, a birthday party or a family reunion, to have the facility might be nice. So maybe it's something to think about in the future. Definitely not something to like do, but quite yet. But just something once we get that website up and running that would allow for
Absolutely.
ease of
Mhm.
that.
What's the timeline on the website?
That I'm unsure of. I know Candy Jones and Joy Hansen are working closely with it, so
Yeah.
they would know more than I would.
I think generally we'll probably start transitioning stuff over this winter. So I think by like winter, spring, we'll have at least like the basic framework of the website up and running. There's some different modules and like add-ons that we're interested in doing, and one of those down the road could be I think the website hosting company that we're interested in going with has a park and rec module. So I think we might look at that. It's kind of would replace um, ActiveNet.
ActiveNet
Yeah.
and me, the other reservation program.
Yeah, so hopefully make a little less work for her so she can do other things. But I think that has like a community calendar and you can see like really easily, hey, I want to reserve a shelter on this day, what's available. Has like can have pictures and you can sign your waiver form and all of that online too. So I think as we kind of get the basic framework of the website up, we'll see what else we can add on that would be useful.
Are we planning, so the credit card fees, is that something we plan on like eating the 3.5% or maybe increasing everything by the credit card
I s-
fees so we're not charging
Yeah.
or asking people to pay credit card fees? Because I hate that.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually.
Right. No.
I know it's almost like if you see free shipping, you'll like pay more just to get the free shipping,
Yeah.
even though it'd be cheaper just to spend less. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that's set up and what the fees will be. I think we want to leave the option too for people to pay in, like by check.
Absolutely.
In person, we still get a lot of walk-ins and people that like to do that too. So I think we might want to figure out like if we increase the fee for everybody, but it's to eat that credit card cost, then people who are paying by check or by cash are kind of getting hit by that. But yeah,
Well, they
I'll
call
check
it
on.
a cash discount. That's what the
Right.
coffee shop does. Even though they
that's-
just charge you more if you
Yeah,
pay it by credit
Yeah.
card.
just a little harder
Whatever.
to harder to track that way. So maybe you're gonna have to just pay the fee and complain about it. I don't know, but yeah, I'll see if they know more about what that credit card processing looks like.
And I just had one more question, if that's
Go
okay.
right
Yeah, can you scroll down to the bottom again? The additional setup, picnic tables and garbage cans, it sounds like a lot of work, actually. Is $25 enough for that? Are you emptying garbage cans and,
No, it's just putting out a few more tables and garbage. I mean, it's not, how do you want to say this? We don't operate this like a business. If we did, you know, then we'd have a charge for per table and like a venue type of thing. We could increase that, but it's not that big a deal. Like I said, like Leanne said, it's really for things like red, white, and
Barricades
blue, and that type
yep.
of stuff. It's pretty routine. We just drop the stuff and
They don't really
yeah.
charge it. I know
Yeah.
that I'd asked Nick at Public Works a couple of months ago too, like what does this actually look like with the setup? And he said like for Highlands and Netherwood, it was used so much this summer that like everybody was asking for extra stuff, so they just left it. So it wasn't like every single time they were picking up the extra tables and bringing it back. It was just they left it there. So it's kind of, I mean, yes, probably collectively all those fees
We could.
cover some of that, but yeah, I
It'd be
don't know
nice
if you
to
were
be able to use some of that to purchase more tables for out there. Because, you know, we did purchase 5 of those octagon recycled, I call it recycled plastic, whatever, tables out there, but we could easily use another 3 or 4 or 5 out there because they get moved around a little bit. But But each one of those are about $700-800 a pop.
Andy, comments?
Yeah, I have a few questions
Mhm.
on this. I remember in the spring when we were talking about the fee structure, you were talking about whatever reservation system you wanted to, and there was either gonna be a cost to it, but then I thought you and Dave were gonna get together.
Mhm.
So, was there, how much of this offsets any cost for the reservation system?
I don't believe, well, I think that would be covered under the park budget, but at this, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No,
Oh,
you didn't end up switching this year.
yeah, I
You
didn't
go with-
switch. Like right now, I am just the system.
Sure.
OSD still has ActiveNet, and we have the option to kind of connect and use that as well, but logistically, it was kind of a nightmare. So yeah, when Dave and I did get together, he expressed, and he's not wrong, that he went through the transition of all the sports orgs having to use ActiveNet and just what a cluster that was. And he said, I'm just trying to save you some gray hairs.
Sure.
And he was 100% right. So far right now I'm able to handle it and it's okay. But I think we'll have to see. I don't know if the Park and Rec module under the new website will be an additional cost, but I do think it's just included.
I think it will be an additional cost because why not, right?
Right.
If they
Yeah,
can charge-
exactly,
It's
yeah.
an additional thing. I don't know what those costs will be, but I think Candy kind of wants to see like how the website rollout goes and some of the initial modules. So that'll probably be, I imagine, more of like a next year's budget conversation of we'll probably do another year of Leanne being the system, learn a little bit more and get some demos on what does this park module actually look like, and maybe we'll even be able to do a demo at a park board meeting to see like what are all the capabilities and
Sure.
do we want these features but not these ones, and then probably bake that into like it would be an operating cost, so it's an ongoing yearly cost. But yeah, I think these could definitely be used to offset some of that whatever that additional price may be.
Because I don't want to belittle any of the time that you have, because obviously there's a cost to you doing the reservations as well. So I mean, it looks like there's a gain here, but really there's probably not.
Right. It's
Right.
covering a portion of
something
her
else.
salary
Right.
and office expenses
Right.
and
Exactly.
Yeah.
paper and
Right.
everything else. So
Yeah, I do appreciate you letting us know which parks or what shelters got reserved the most. I guess at the end of the year, I'd really love to see a more in-depth report, just to say,
Okay.
here's what we had for reservation, just because I'm curious.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I like to look at the numbers with that. Looking at, I know at the beginning of the year, you also looked at trying to charge, or, the thought of charging sports organizations per event, per field, per
Yes.
game.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought was agreed on was, essentially a lump sum, which sounded like a giant discount to them from what that was. So
Mm-hmm.
is $34.50 for all the sports organizations, is that enough based on the use? I mean, do we know who used it more, who used what more with JC Community Park coming online now next year?
Right.
There'll be more use going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So some of that might shift. At what point do you look at the relationship between the sports organizations and the village to not necessarily have them pay their fair share, but
Right.
if when I walk by Norm Champion Park and that green space back there, it's a dirt patch because
Yep.
it got used so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's no amount of money that could
Absolutely.
go into that to fix that back up, or Highlands and Netherwood being offline for a while this summer because it was getting overused.
Yep.
So they're community parks, I get it, and I don't
Right.
want to charge someone to go walk their dog or
Right.
fly a kite out there.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get heavy uses like that, either having rest days in the schedule or
Mm-hmm.
somehow finding a way to take care of this because they are putting, an overuse on that system.
Yeah, and the materials that we're finding out, the materials that we use for kind of fixing those fields gets more expensive. I mean, you start using more specialized products with seed mulches and this special stuff you put down in front of the boxes, the goal boxes, it's a little more durable. You need to use more of it. We need more fertilizer, all of that type of stuff. And the other thing I was thinking of,
just in
I'll have to
regards
think
to the
about it,
rest
yeah.
days,
Oh, that's what it was.
yeah, go
Yep.
ahead.
We keep getting requests, you know, can we switch the rest days?
Yep.
Can we put, and it's like, don't think they understand what rest days are, you know, you can't just.
You could put them all at the end of the season, but what's the point?
Right.
I'm gonna
I know
rest.
it doesn't do any
The rest
good.
of winter,
And,
yeah.
and you're exactly right. I mean, as far as, they get heavily used, and it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky
Yeah,
coming up with a.
absolutely. And I mean, this fee, the lump sums for 2023 were a little on the lower side, and I think that was just more for diplomacy purposes. Because, you know, they have been so supportive and we do need them as a partner. I didn't want to totally make them mad with, you know, a huge sum, but I mean, it
Right.
definitely will increase
Okay,
this
I guess,
upcoming year.
yeah, I mean, I was just curious what the thought process is moving forward with that, and I thought I read somewhere, I don't know if it was in this or somewhere else, but it was, you know, that the organizations are doing upkeep and maintenance and stuff on fields as well, but I guess I wanna know what that entails, because besides painting lines on the soccer fields, you know, I don't know what, I mean, every once in a while I'll see, you know,
Right.
baseball or softball out doing, you know, stuff, but that's usually to prep for the game.
Correct. I'll let you field specifics, but usually they work out with
Yeah.
Jeff, like, hey, we're willing to do X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
And he says, please don't.
Right, right.
Yeah, right.
Right. Well, we had a situation a couple weeks ago where we were with J.C. Park, is, you know, brand new field, and the playing field, soccer field out there. We had been trying to kind of bring it down a level lower each week, so we because that's what you do. You need to get it down to a competition level after you've let it grow really tall. And so we were doing that, and we knew Fall Fury was coming. We were going to mow it 3 times that week. And Monday afternoon, I happened to be driving by there, and there's 2 mowers.
Your mowers or
Huh?
someone else? Your mowers or someone
No,
else's?
someone else's mowers, taking it down and just scalping the whole thing. And I was pretty upset about it, because it's like, you know, we're supposed to be taking care of these. And so I may or may not have sent off a very nasty email that afternoon. But those are the kind of things that, you know, it's hard. It's really hard, and we want to work with the groups. I
Right,
mean,
absolutely.
Soccer is a very important group in our community, but also is baseball, softball, lacrosse, you know, some of the ultimate, you know, rugby, these other groups and stuff, and it's a real balancing act. We always said Leanne's gonna have the toughest job in the village, trying to keep everyone happy with use of the parks, and still keeping it open for public, like you said, to go out and fly a kite, or have a pickup game with kids on the weekend or something like that. It's a battle, you know, of trying to keep people happy. Well, yeah, so we have, our parks person is retiring on tomorrow. Tomorrow, after 19 years being with the village public works, Billy is retiring. He's been our parks person for the last couple of years, and the replacement for Billy, not that we could ever replace Billy, but the next person we'll be looking for is more of a parks manager role. I would look at it as like a grounds, someone with a groundskeeper background, you know, that would understand more soils, plant, you know, agronomy, turf management, those type of things. And so we'll be looking for someone with an irrigation experience, you know, all those kind of things that go along with these higher quality fields. And what we hope to see, actually, in our long-term plan is a parks department to come out of this. And that's gonna be, you know, larger staff over time, and probably at someday a parks superintendent that would be under Public Works.
Yeah, I think that's long overdue. You know,
It is,
especially
in fact,
as
when
we're
we
growing.
went in the park plan, so this actually is part of the agenda, I guess. Park plan said, for an average sized community like ours, they'd have 9 people taking care of the parks. We have 1 full-time and 3 summertime help. So, but we've got a lot of people, our staff does a lot of different things. And so we kind of do an all hands on deck when necessary, but we're wanting to kind of build that department.
Sure. Well, to get it back on track, Leanne,
Yes.
I guess I'm just curious to
that's
see
okay.
how this looks moving forward. You know, I mean, the park fees are fine. I mean, like, again,
Mhm.
like you guys had mentioned, if I want to go play pickleball, I don't have to reserve a court. I
No,
just might
not
run the
at
risk that someone else is there. But again,
Mhm.
how do I check to see if are there any open courts? You know, and that's where if the website has that capability where I can pull it up on my
Absolutely.
phone and go, okay, nobody has these reserved, so I don't have to feel like
Mhm.
I'm going to get kicked off. You know, the last point I have too with these reservations is there's there's probably no way to quantify shelter use that has been reserved versus not been reserved, because I'll drive by parks and there's birthday parties there, and if there's no
Mhm.
signage up to
Mhm.
say that the shelter's reserved, or even a sign that says, hey, did you know you could reserve this?
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. I'm just curious how many people actually know that things are going, you know, that you could do this.
Yeah. We do have cabinets at Netherwood and Kaiser,
Kaiser.
just indicating like this is reserved for so and so's
Sure.
party, and then my information's at the bottom. Like if you're interested in reserving this, I think Nick and I are going to put up the one at JC Park rather soon, so we'll have a
Yes.
third
Yeah.
cabinet. But I do think even at like Bethel and Gansner, I think it would benefit having something there. Like, hey, would you like to reserve?
Bethel would be nice. I
Bethel
still
would be
can't
really
believe
nice.
people use Gesner, because it's just a small little.
We've had two people, and one was like, "Where's this? Where's
Yeah.
that?" I'm like, "Well,
It's just
there-"
kind of a tiny little, you
Yeah.
need to kind of do something different with it at some time.
Mhm.
But
I agree.
I will say, I forgot to mention, the shelter at JC Park, the old shelter, we've completely reshingled this year.
JC Community Park.
Thank you, JC Community Park. I've been trying to get myself, whenever I type it, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But the shelter has new shingles, a new roof, new shingles, new soffit and fascia, and the wood on the ends, and then the underside will be replaced in the next couple weeks with tongue and groove stained wood, and then we're actually added lights underneath too, so to help kind of extend the use of that a little more.
Yeah, it looks
So,
great.
yeah,
It
it's come along nicely.
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely. Another thing too, two things that are not on here that we're still, I think Jeff and I are still discussing, is one, implementing a tournament fee once JC Park is up and running. So for example, Fall Fury, where that is
And they make a lot of money. They
right.
charge a lot.
That's exactly. So establishing a tournament fee, as well as we'll have the concession stand as well. So we'll have to establish some sort of rental fee for that as well for the organizations to use. So that'll pop up in next year's recap.
Anything else, Andy?
I'll let other people talk.
Fair enough.
Thank
Judy,
you.
did you have anything?
No, I'm
You
good.
were just
She
talking about
Yep, tournament fees.
the tournament
Yep.
fees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Indy, would you like to see for those sports organizations like the breakdown or
Yeah.
a little bit of the explanation of how those fees are kind of calculated, and then
Yeah, I'd love
like
to see,
for
like,
24 what we're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
propose to
their
them.
usage from 23, like how many fields they reserved or how
Mhm.
many games they had, and then based on how many, what percentage of the fee they paid.
Mhm.
I guess I would just be curious of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I will say, like, we did meet with the soccer group probably a month or two ago,
Yeah,
and talked
somewhere.
about a whole bunch of different things, but the rest days in particular, and obviously it's kind of always in flux, but I think maybe as we're coming back to them with 2024, here's your fee, here's kind of the expectation in terms of usage, and it's a little bit of like, it's just kind of building that trust and coming to the agreement, and it's something that's kind of hard to police, and we kind of rely on, we can't be everywhere at the
Honesty.
same time too, but I think just hopefully over time we
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
get to a agreement on,
Mhm.
this park is to be used at this frequency. We can always bring it back to the park board too. I mean, that's something we used to do, where it was like every organization had to come to the February meeting and lay your proposal in front of you, and I think we just found that was kind of inefficient, so that's where, part of Leanne's role, but maybe we want to talk about, like, everybody submits their proposals, she summarizes them, and then we bring that to a park board meeting, just to kind of have a check-in, but not have it kind of be like, wait, who's got Wednesdays and Thursdays, and it was a lot of, like,
Mhm.
way too much to coordinate at an actual meeting on the fly, but, yeah, it's just creating something from nothing. So I think we're moving in the right direction. But yeah, creating a structure is always messy. A lot of people involved. So.
About how many groups were in that lump sum?
It was, I believe, 5 or 6. One, two, 5 groups.
And those are like the highest
Correct.
frequency
Yep.
users, right?
So soccer, youth baseball, youth football, youth softball, and adult softball.
I was wondering, how would like an organization, like how is it determined that they would have to participate in that fund? Like, would they be, like, what's the word? Like notified, or do they have to like go through anyone or talk to anyone, say like this is who we are, what we're doing? Like, how would you hold like an organization accountable for that?
So, luckily somebody said something to somebody because they all called me and said, "What do you mean you're charging us and how much?" But they were very nice about it once they saw the rates they were getting because one thought it would be $100 an hour. So when I said, no, it's not $100 an hour, they were perfectly fine with what I did suggest. But I feel like there was one organization that said, okay, we just have to run it by our board, and so their check took a little bit longer than the others. But I'd say I emailed and said, here's what you owe based on your needs, and I had checks within 2 weeks. So yeah. So luckily it's worked out thus far.
So I was just going to add to that. I mean, if they want to use the space and want to make sure they have the space, they're going to try to reserve something. So then that would be
Correct.
how you would contact them as well.
Okay.
And then say, hey, by the way, there's going to be a fee to this.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
Any other comments? Leon, thank you for taking this venture into reservation fees, because we have not had any before, and nobody else has, and obviously there's a lot of pain that can come along with it. I think it's still an ongoing opportunity to continue to look at the
Absolutely.
fees and what's going on. It very much, the park board really has not had any money available to do anything, but on top of it, with the growth of the village, and there's so many other things that it's going to be asked of, could we get this, could we get that, and where do we get that kind of stuff? And you do find those items that are available in other communities, so it's something that we got to continue to look at since it's a new venture, and the opportunity of what we can do. So certainly thank you for the staff for the support on that as well. So if no other comments or questions, we'll move on to item 6, any unfinished business. And so I don't believe we have any unfinished business or any other potential actions. So item 7, new business for coming up. We have meeting dates for November 14th, Tuesday the 14th, and then Tuesday the 12th of December. How do those dates look for the park board? Look fine? So then moving on to a list of all the dates that are out in 2024. So we'll continue with those 5 p.m. if that's appropriate by everyone. We'll continue on with those as well. I don't have any other items for future meetings or any kind of assignments. Any park board members have any of those? Yes.
Given that I won't be here after January's meeting, would it be possible to contact the high school and have them do through their school, not newspaper, but like their video thing of the same thing that they did? That's how I got the position. Just because a lot of the people that I would forward to this would be seniors, so they would only be here for 3 months, and then
Is that Panther Vision?
Panther Vision.
Panther,
I didn't know if
okay.
you guys would know what that was. Okay. Yeah, Panther Vision.
Okay,
Because it worked really well last time.
Yeah.
Good.
I did.
Oh, good to know.
Is this something you can reach out to Dave? Maybe he'd be a good contact and get.
I think so.
the
It might be
info.
Dave or Brad Ashmore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
we can
reach out.
definitely
We'll
work
reach
on
out
it.
to both of
Yeah,
them.
there's
But
some-
yeah. Yeah.
You're leaving us.
I'm sorry. I'm graduating early. Yeah, so I don't think
Nice.
legally I can be here. I
There's
don't know.
nothing illegal about being.
I don't know.
Definitely. Thank you for bringing that. I appreciate that. Are there any comments from the park board? Things that coming up, other things that they may want to offer that weren't part of the agenda? Hearing none. Very good. Then I'll call for an adjournment.
I move to adjourn. Sorry.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Andy got that second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you all.
Thank you much.
Have a great evening.
Yes, you too.
Nobody wants to speak.
I forget. I
Nobody
always
wants to
forget
leave?
that you have to move. I just am like, oh, we're adjourning.
We're
And
gonna
I'm like, wait.
adjourn,
No, someone has to actually say it.
There's some efficient methods that you don't even have to do that.
Yeah.
So,
It's-
I
it
don't
just
know if
makes
the
it
village is
look good
following
that
that,
you-
but
True.
That
Yeah.
you do. You could just. Yeah.